And hello, and welcome to another edition of the Big Freakin' Friday show on the College Football Mafia Network. I'm your host, Nathan Bomber Brown, and with me are my co-hosts and partners in this whole deal. That would be Wild Ute and Mo. And how you guys feeling tonight?
What's up? What's up? Happy Friday to all who celebrate.
There you go. I'll do celebrate. I love it. Moen, how about you? How you feeling tonight?
I feel fat.
Do you?
Fat.
Have you set yourself a weight loss goal for the spring or anything?
God, yes. The goal is I definitely need to lose some weight.
I love it. I love it. That's good stuff. Thank you everybody for being here. We know we've got a lot of competition. There's a few shows that are going live. Plus we have the basketball tournament. So those of you that are here early, you're the OGs. You are the dedicated ones. You're the ones that we want to shout out and give you guys props. So before we get into news or anything else, I'm going to do shout outs to people. So leave your comment right now if you just joined the chat, and I'll more than likely get to it. I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, and then get involved. Leave your comments and questions. We do respond to those. We build whole shows around these comments, and so we really need them. We're begging for that interaction from you guys, so think about doing that. Give us a thumbs up on the YouTube video, and then consider becoming a member of the College Football Mafia family. We do a lot of fun stuff around here, and membership has its benefits. And I think what we'll want to do is, Moen, what was the last Moen Confidential that we had that was members only that you could sell?
Members only. We had Friends with Benefits talking about a potential scheduling agreement between the Notre Dame and the Big Ten, and what that might look like. And we went ahead and ran it through the algorithm and told the computer to do some special magic that it does, and it tells us it gave us an idea of what that would look like, which was a pretty cool insight if Notre Dame signed a scheduling agreement with the Big Ten.
I love it. And you put out a video this week, another one of the cut-ups from the videos you've done recently. How did that go?
Yeah, it's on the Big Ten brand index score. And so if you want to know how valuable of a TV product your football team is, go check out these videos. The brand index score for the Big Ten came out on Wednesday. We've released Big 12 ACC. The last segment of the series is SEC, which will be released Wednesday at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Check it out. Really great information. It tells you all you need to know about how strong a brand your football team is after controlling and adjusting for a variety of factors. It's the best out there. Come check it out. And also, hey, whoever out there is listening to this, if you haven't subbed to our channel, we're going for 6,000 subs.
Let's go.
Please hit that sub button. Be part of the community. 6,000, that's the goal. Be part of this thing.
And I want to promote Coos Corner. Also had a great show this week. He interviewed our friend here, Wild Ute, and also the Rock and Rant of the College Football Express, and sometime participant around here. That show was really, really good, and it was certainly entertaining. I would tell you to check out Coos Corner on YouTube and like and subscribe. Do what you need to, because we always want to push people's sites that we appreciate, and certainly Coos does good stuff. All right, let's start off with really quick, because we do have quite a few headlines to get to tonight. I'm not sure how deep we're going to go on them, but we are going to cover a few topics tonight. So I want to get shout outs first without missing a beat. That would be, go ahead.
Can I do a few shout outs first? Shout out to Numbskull News.
Sure.
We're plugging people. Numbskull News did a great show the other night. I was in his chat. It was really fun. And Caden the Diesel Freak has started his own show on YouTube.
I love it.
So check that out. I think he does it on Mondays.
He does. Caden's got all kind of energy. So if you want to have your brain filled up with stuff, and you just want to enjoy sit back and do some exercise or something, Caden and Numbskull are very, very entertaining.
Numbskull's
guys.
great.
Yeah, very much so. Let's do some shout outs here. Buckshot Kid, OG member of the College Football Mafia family, usually one or two on the scoreboard. Hey, at the College Football Mafia. Good to see you, Buckshot Kid. Outlaw Skies checking in. Good to see you, Outlaw. Fifth, go Buckeyes. Number 5. 5 no matter what. Big Lubbock, first in my heart, certainly. Always in the house. Good to have you here, Lubbock. Daniel Gygax, Daniel the Gygax, somebody who does a show once a week or so. Short little videos, but certainly entertaining and does news and information as well. Want to make sure everybody knows to look those up on our channel. Daniel says, hi, everyone. I'll have to catch the replay. I'm picking up my daughter from college for spring break. Always
come on.
an exciting time.
Come on, Daniel. You're too old for spring break. Let her go alone.
Gygax is gone down
He
to
is.
Panama, Florida.
He is, absolutely. Let's see here. Nick Kelso, sorry. Good to see you, Nick. Also a valuable member of the College Football Mafia family, saying if you ain't last, you're first. Ricky Bobby, probably. We got Kate the Diesel Freak right on cue, as Moen says. Valuable member of the College Football Mafia family, somebody we love having around, calls in on my live call-in shows, always contributes, and that's all we're looking for around here. How's it going, everyone? Caden says, going into a long weekend. Ryan Willie, the Evil Badger, not only a subscriber and a follower and everything else for our channels, but also somebody that we care very much about. I received a couple texts from him this week, but not a lot of content. Did you talk to him this week, Moen?
I did. We went back and forth a little bit. Ryan, I don't know the score yet. If you could let us know the score on the women's hockey game, because I would love for Ohio State to get their revenge this year. Ohio State women advanced in the national championship game. I know Ryan's a big hockey fan. Wisconsin's playing Penn State to advance. If Wisconsin advances, that'll be 4 out of 5 years Ohio State and Wisconsin have played the national championship game.
Wow, that is crazy. Okay. Bob Swinger talking about Penn State being part of the Big Ten and everything that goes with Big Ten athletics. Bob Swinger is a very big supporter, OG member of the College Football Mafia family. We appreciate you, Bob. Thank you for being here tonight. He says, hi, everyone, and I'm glad he can watch. Moen, what do we got here? What's this from Caden?
Caden the Diesel Freak has gifted 1 college football membership to the College Football Mafia family. That membership went to Cardboard King 1989. Cardboard King, congratulations on that membership. If you're in the chat,
Congratulations.
Cardboard King, thank Caden the Diesel Freak for that membership. You now have access to all our members only videos, including Moen Confidential and some Wild Ute Universities and a whole bunch of great stuff. You also have access to all the emotes in chat, and as always, we try and give preference to members when we select our comments during the show.
Very good. And one last thing I always like to follow Moen up with, if you've received a membership and you want good karma in your life, you believe about paying it forward, give somebody else a gifted membership. The easiest way to do that is hit the little dollar bill picture next to the comment box, and you can gift memberships right there. Thank you, Caden. We appreciate you, man. Thanks for your loyalty and helping us out around here. We'll do what we can to promote your channel as it goes and it continues to grow. Caleb Ramirez, another OG member of the College Football Mafia family. Good to see you, Caleb, representing Brutus and the Ohio State Buckeyes. Saying hi, y'all. Good to have you here, Caleb. Movie Time Blues says, rest in peace, Chuck Norris, sorry.
Absolutely.
Oh, boy. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. I was a Texas Walker, Texas Ranger guy. You know, the best movie he was ever in was a movie that had now I'm spacing it. It's like 1981. He was a marshal. It'll come to me. It's a good one, though. I'll try to remember the details, and I'll be able to bring that up later in the show. Sorry, that just went out of my head right when I went to say that. $2 super chat from Caden the Diesel Freak saying, it's the Big Freaking Friday show. Let's go. Thank you so much, Caden. We appreciate you. Bulldog, Mississippi, somebody who just does everything around here for us, representing the SEC for us is a big deal. We really appreciate you being here, Bulldog. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Saying evening, Mafia. Good to have you here.
Good evening.
SoCal Buckeye, newer member. I think he's been around for a while, or at least been watching us for a while. If you aren't a Michigan podcast, I will follow you.
We are not a Michigan podcast.
We are not a Michigan podcast.
Talk Michigan.
We can be accused
Utah,
of a lot
Ohio
of things.
State. Yeah.
Being a Michigan channel is not us by any means. Evil Badger Ryan Willie, a $2 super chat saying, I'd give up the game versus Utah in 28 for Notre Dame.
Come on, Ryan. We just started the show, my guy. Here, look, Utah is going to Camp Randall in 2028. Look, I'm probably going to go out to that game.
Ooh,
I
that'd
want
be
to
a
go
fun
check
one,
it
I
out
think.
for Wisconsin. That is one that I've got on the docket. There's no way Utah's giving that up. And hey,
Right.
just I look forward to the game and stuff. And it's just too bad that you're not looking forward to it too. I get it. Notre Dame's fun to play, but I am looking forward to playing my spirit animal for the Utah Utes, Wisconsin Badgers, baby.
There we go. I love it. That's positive attitude. That's fantastic to see. SoCal Buckeye also followed up his comment earlier by saying, subscribed, good deal, dudes.
Let's
Go
go.
Buckeyes. Thank you so much,
Let's go,
SoCal
Buckeyes.
Buckeye. We appreciate you being around. Thank you, Mom. Jackson Johnson representing the voice of college football. What's up, College Football Mafia Nation? Thank you so much, Jackson. It's great to see you tonight. We have another gifted membership from the Bulldog, Mississippi, Moen.
You absolutely are correct. Mr. Cowbell has gifted a
Mr.
membership to
Cowbell.
Ben Woodard. You have received a gifted membership from Bulldog,
go.
Mississippi. Make
I
sure you
love it.
thank Bulldog, Mississippi in the chat. If you're catching us on demand, thank him in the comments section. I'm sure he would appreciate it. And we're going to play a bunch of sounders once we get through all of these guys.
Let's go.
Thank you so much, Bulldog, Mississippi. We appreciate you. Thanks for becoming an active member almost immediately once you started watching us. I appreciate you very much, and I know Moen and you do as well. Let's see, we've only got a couple more here. Movie Time Blues, I'm not sure what he's talking about here. College Football Mafia, is that movie Cone of Silence? What's he talking about there, Moen?
The Chuck Norris.
I know
thing you
what
just
it
brought
is,
up.
but okay.
Is that the 1981 movie you're thinking of? with Chuck
No,
Norris?
it wasn't that. No.
What about
it wasn't
this
a
one?
He's Got a Gun, you lone man. What is it? Chuck
An
Norris
eye
movie.
for an eye.
No, not An Eye for an Eye. That's a good one. It's
Well,
another
listen,
good guess. That's not it.
it's-
I'll find it. David Carradine was in it as the
I
bad
can resolve
guy.
this.
David
I can resolve this
Carradine-
for you right now.
Okay,
Braddock.
David Carradine was the bad guy.
Braddock missing in action, or you're thinking, you might be thinking of Lone Wolf McQuaid.
Yes.
You're
Yeah.
thinking of Lone Wolf McQuaid, okay.
You
But
got it.
Braddock,
Good
I
job,
think, is
Mo.
a better movie.
Okay. I haven't watched a lot of them, I'll admit. Jimmy Otson. Good to have you here, Jimmy. Good to see you tonight. Valuable member of the College Football Mafia family. He gets another membership, Moen.
Let's go.
Hey, Jimmy, good to see you. You gifted
Woohoo!
a membership, and it went to our friend Expansion Crush.
Let's
nice.
go.
Good friend from Indiana Hoosier. So he is certainly, I don't know that Jimmy was looking to give anything more to the Indiana Hoosiers this year, but you did, Jimmy.
Yeah, probably
So
not.
Expansion Crush, make sure you thank Jimmy in the chat. And if you're watching on demand, I know you are out and about quite a bit, Expansion Crush. Make sure you leave it in the comment section. I'm sure Jimmy Otson would appreciate it. And Jimmy, we appreciate you. And as soon as we get through all these, man, we got sounders lined up. I
Two
promise.
Jimmy,
super
I
chats
hope
and
you
then we
checked
got
out that-
Sounders.
I hope Jimmy checked out the Big Ten index video because Oregon is a juggernaut that doesn't get enough love from a TV rating standpoint. Top 5 in Big Ten on the heels of Penn State. Man, am I impressed by the Ducks. Seriously. What
Okay.
a brand.
The brand is right. Brand is right. Bulldog, Mississippi, another $5 super chat. Notre Dame is a private school, right? How would you get an idea of how much they're actually worth?
Yeah, go ahead.
It depends in terms of total value. You know their endowment. They make their endowment known. In terms of TV value, that's a great question. I think you would have to look at the contract.
Well,
with
isn't
NBC.
aren't the contracts announced?
You'd have to look at the contract with NBC, which is on a sliding
what I thought.
scale. And then you would also
Yeah.
have to look at the contract that the Big Ten has that says how much money they would get by adding Notre Dame.
And the ACC.
And the ACC.
Yep.
Whatever they make from there. So, I mean, there's ways to do it, even though they are a private school.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Bulldog Mississippi, for the super chat. And one last super chat, unless I missed another one. And see, no more new ones. This will be the last one. Caden the Diesel Freak, another $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Caden. I'm ready for Ohio State versus Alabama, and I know we'll beat their ass by double digits. Go Buckeyes, torch the Tide. So there you
They're
go,
playing
Moan.
Alabama this year? Moan? Really?
Caden, listen. I don't think it's this year. I think it's next year. I think it's next year.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, listen, man, I had to fill out a form this week and I put 2025 on it. I'm probably not the best guy to ask.
Okay, that's fine.
But yeah,
you got Texas this year, not Bama.
We got Texas. We got Texas this year. That's
So
right.
maybe it's
And we
next
got
year
Alabama
then.
the following year.
Maybe it's next year then.
Let's keep our fingers crossed that Alabama actually keeps that game. Ohio State's not backing out. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Buckeyes ain't backing out. Alabama, on the other hand, I hear hands might be shaking a little too much to put on the cleats.
Oh boy. Okay. All right, Moan, go to town with your Sounders. Thank you, everybody, for your super chats and new members.
There you go. A little bit of that. Little laugh for the Badger.
I'm a bad man. You hear me? Stop! He's already dead.
Guess what? I got a fever.
You're having too
And
much
the only
fun, Moan.
prescription is more cowbell.
Just tell me when they're over. I can only hear half of them.
Well,
Just tell me when you're done.
I will. Yeah,
There you go.
That's for Jimmy Hodson.
There you go.
We got a little duck there. Let's do a little Mike Leach.
Okay.
Points more compelling than their fat little girlfriends. Now, their fat little girlfriends have some obvious advantages. For one thing, their fat little girlfriends are telling them what they want to hear, which is how great you are.
What is that from?
That is from Mike Leach.
Okay.
Former coach at Texas Tech.
He
State,
was, yes.
State.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You got any more?
We can do one more. Let's do.
Sure.
We haven't done this one in a while. Jacob Cat's not here, but
He is not.
he's not here. We'll do.
That's right.
That's right.
So there we go. I think we got every sounder we needed to get in there.
Okay. All right.
There you
That's all
go.
I was checking for. All right. First, I want to start off with some stories that because we are going to spend a bunch of time on Utah and Kyle Whittingham. So let me get to a couple ones that I've got here that have actual news reports in them. First one is Sam Herder put out a tweet earlier today that said the Division I membership committee, yes, another committee, has been having discussions on the possible creation of an autonomy subdivision. And if you're new around here, you don't know this, but we've been talking about a new subdivision in college football for 3 years on this channel. You can go back 3 years and find some of the very first references to a new subdivision in college football. And the idea would be you put all the autonomous schools and conferences into one new subdivision, and that would essentially be your new Division I. That's what the idea is. And I just want to bring up this. So I shared the link so you guys can read this yourself. But if we go right to the quote, and I think everybody can read that one. This is the quote from the report. Discussion of referrals from the NCAA Division I decision-making working group. The NCAA Division I membership committee continued its discussion of the first of 2 referrals from the NCAA Division I decision-making group. I don't know why they needed to make that so laborious. Specifically as part of its exploration of the possible creation of an autonomy subdivision. And the word autonomy should stand out to you because right now the autonomous leagues are which ones, Ute?
This would be the A4, the SEC, the Big 10 Conference, the Big 12, and the ACC. That's the big Power 4. But then if you're looking at all the rest of the FBS, then you've got 7 additional conferences to make up the 11.
I'll keep reading this here. It defines autonomy status such as criteria are established. The committee reviewed and discussed data from the NCAA demographics database, whatever. The committee reviewed subdivision-specific data ranging from enrollment size and sponsored sports to revenues and expenses. And again, if you've been around here for any amount of time on the College Football Mafia channel, we've talked about possible ways you could break up and separate schools. What are some of the ways they're talking about doing them? Their enrollment size. What's the sponsored? It can't be enrollment size because Vanderbilt has like 8,000 fans. So it can't be from that. But they are looking at them, revenues and expenses. The committee also identified additional information to review at a future meeting, including an analysis of sponsored sports and areas of autonomy and related legislation. The committee also agreed to review financial sports sponsorship, student athlete experience, and use of resources information summarized by conference. Finally, the committee discussed factors that might inform a future definition: governance, enforcement, committees, and rules. So if you go to a new autonomous subdivision, and again here, that would mean the 4 autonomous conferences, the way that they would take over their own rules would be in governance, enforcement, committees, and rules. And those last 4 things, those 4 things are the things the Big Ten and the SEC have been complaining about the most. They want their own governance. They want their own enforcement. They want their own committees to be made up by whoever they want. And then they want their own rules. So, guys, I'm going to come to you first, Ute. If you didn't have a chance to read this before, you're seeing it now. What are some of your first thoughts as this is being reported?
I'm thinking that it's the NCAA that has a working group that nobody's really ever heard of and stuff. So it's probably not going to get much traction. Like, for reals, like possible. If the Big Ten and the SEC aren't leading that sucker and it has anything to do with the NCAA, it's going nowhere. Especially a group that, like, it's just an idea out there and everything, but it needs SEC and Big Ten buy-in, support, sponsorship for anything like this to even have a chance. And I just don't see them wanting to break away with the 68 to 70 teams, 72 teams in the Power Four. They're going to want to break away themselves because that's how they can maximize the money. And I don't like that, but that's how I see it.
Okay, and I would add on top of that, Mo, and I'll get your reply to it too. This is an NCAA working group. It's a NCAA working group, and this is where the NCAA is fighting for relevance, right? They're hearing this outside noise saying, you guys can't do it for us, and they're all coming down on the NCAA. The NCAA is fine. We'll try to be proactive and come up with a proactive way of going about this, but it might be too little too late. Moen, what are your thoughts about this one?
Yeah, this is definitely reeks of please, baby, take me back. This is the NCAA 100% saying, look what I can do. Look what I can do. Look what I can do. And it's clearly aimed at the Big Ten and the SEC. The SEC's continuous threats to go into their silo, as we've deemed it, this probably is why this is coming out. All of a sudden, this is coming out. So
yes, I agree with you guys.
But will it go anywhere? I agree with you. I don't think it goes anywhere. I think this is dead in the water.
The NCAA is dead in the water, I think. The next step would be to just take everything away from the NCAA. Okay, that's all I wanted to do on that news report. Wanted to make sure we covered it. The second one is this was the Sports Business Journal off of an article that was originally written by Ben Portnoy. I want to put the link so you guys have access to this one. Sports Business Journal, byline Ben Portnoy. The Big Ten is advocating for a new retention carve-out that would let schools exceed the House settlements to a $20.5 million revenue sharing cap to keep its own players. A concept sources say mirrors the NBA style bird rights. And if that you don't know what that is, basically it allows if a player will stay at your school, you can go over the cap to pay them NIL money or revenue sharing money. If it's coming from the university right now, it's revenue sharing money. So that's something that, again, they're Big Ten's asking for a change. And I could see something like this happening. I really could. Because at the end of the day, if they don't start allowing these type of things, I think again they'll break away and they just won't run through them at all. Moen, what are your thoughts on this one? This came from the Big Ten.
I'm a little curious on this because the way I read it, it almost seems like it has to be somebody who originally committed to your team.
It's somebody on your team already. It's somebody that's already on the team from the previous year. You're able to pay them more money to stay.
But you could get
That's
a
what the article
transfer.
says.
You could get a transfer player in from like Mississippi State. They play for a year, and then you could put them in under these bird rights.
If they play for a year, yeah. If they play for a year.
Well, it doesn't shock me that the Big Ten's trying to do this. Everybody's trying to get around the cap anyway. Everybody's getting around the cap anyway.
Right.
So
good point. Yeah.
Might as well just have an official way of getting around the cap.
No, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Like, there's no regulation on anything, guys. Like, this is the Wild West of NIL, rev share, whatever. Like, there's no teeth to it. There's no penalties that are coming down. The NCAA is not going to be able to enforce anything. So this is putting the cart before the horse. Having like an expanded retention idea for an existing player is fantastic under a governed system that actually is controlled. We do not live in that world right now. In the future state, this would be a fantastic ad. I would love to see it and stuff, but it doesn't even make sense today. It's not even effective today until there's actually rules and governance around NIL and really capping NIL and the fake NIL that's coming through the pay-for-play stuff.
Very good. I love it. And we can, please leave your comments and questions. You guys want to discuss this? We'll certainly circle back as we run and we're done with the news. We will take your comments and questions, but these are stories that we grab trying to get you guys more information. If you guys want to talk about any one of them, don't hesitate to ask us. That's what we're here to do. This is supposed to get your brain thinking. And whether you like it or not, leave a comment in the comment box and let us know what you think. Then the last one that I'm going to bring up, and then I'm going to we'll do a roundup, and then we'll jump to the primary story for tonight, which is Utah and Kyle Whittingham. This is a Ross Dellinger tweet from earlier in the week. Again, I only bookmarked the news that I think that we might want to talk about later in the week. Basically, they're talking about pushing for the SCORE Act to be looked at in the middle of April. Essentially, they're really trying to push it forward, trying to get it done. I personally think it doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell, but they're trying to rush it up to have some sort of conversation to try to get a vote. All the conferences want it. And at the end of the day, they are pushing hard for that. As an addendum to this, and I don't have a tweet to reference, but it was just came out today that the last executive order that Trump promised after the roundtable, the executive order to whatever he's going to say to save college sports and to rein in NIL and all those things, none of that happened. His executive order that came out was to protect the Army-Navy game. So if you were waiting for the president to save your school because you simply can't spend enough on NIL and you want that reined in, the president's not going to be able to help you out. It's going to have to come through a different method. So, those two things. So anything on the SCORE Act or anything you guys want to make on the executive order you want to talk about?
I hope the SCORE Act passes, guys. Like, I really do. I think that would actually bring more structure in the game than we're seeing today. It would rein in the NIL environment, even like the third-party environment stuff, the booster collective, like the schools that are creating phantom collectives and organizations to pay players. It's absolutely ridiculous. That's where most of the NIL money comes from, is this manufactured fake market. So I would love to see it controlled. The SCORE Act's one way to do it. So give me the SCORE Act better than what we have today.
Moen?
I 100% agree with you. I think right now uncertainty fuels instability, and I think we need to get rid of the uncertainty and the instability, and the easiest way to do that is to pass the SCORE Act. Again, it's not going to be a perfect act. Nothing we pass is going to be perfect. There's still some shit in it that is shit. But, there's still some good stuff in there that's good. So, and they can tweak it. They've been tweaking it. That Lane Kiffin rule they put in basically this week is another addendum to it. So they can add stuff to it and take some stuff out and get this to committee. But they need to get it passed before November.
Yeah.
And
that's where I think it runs out of time. We've got a war, a gas gas bills are going through the roof. We got inflation is coming back and hitting people in their pocketbooks. The chance anything gets passed, it's a non-zero chance, but it's 0.001 chance.
We'll see. Right now, the second week of April is what they're targeting for their first vote. So
I think that's a subcommittee vote they're pushing for.
Right, but
yeah,
it's a vote up in Congress. So
we'll
see how it goes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. One last thing I wanted to get to, and I thought I was trying to zoom this in, and Twitter doesn't do a good job of making it bigger. I'll just read this. I'll post the link to it so everybody can go to it. And then I'm going to once I read this, and I'm going to turn my time over to Ute, and he can kind of catch everybody up. Ute, if you want to get any links ready.
Yeah, I've got one right here about an article that's kind of going over this email too.
Okay. So why don't you do it then? I'll turn it over to you. I'll pull this off here. You go ahead and drive this. Why don't you tell everybody what we're talking about with Utah right now?
Okay, here we go. The Big Ten strikes back. The namesake of this live show, Michigan versus Utah, the battle for dominance, baby. What the heck happened with Kyle Whittingham? We've talked about it on this channel before, but what the heck happened with the greatest Utah coach of all time, not coaching Utah today, but instead in his late prime of his career, now coaching the Michigan Wolverines in 2026.
Chasing a natty. That's what happened. That's what happened. Greed. His own legacy. That's what it is.
That is a very interesting standpoint. And there's a lot of different ways to take this. The Utah angle, the Michigan angle, how it impacts Big 12, how it impacts Big 10. There's a ton that's going on here, but let's just give the story. So Ross Dellinger wrote an article, and this actually, the genesis of this, there was a local reporter, Chris Kamrani, that actually got some public documents after a request in, and it revealed a bunch of emails back and forth between Kyle Whittingham's representation, Mark Harlan's representation, that's the athletic director of Utah, to see the story of why Whittingham's not the head coach of Utah right now. We've talked about it again on this channel, and I told you guys last December and stuff that Whittingham was nudged out of the job. You guys remember that? We did a whole live show.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We made a video on that. We knew that. We've talked about that.
Harlan screwed that up so bad.
And the story is what exactly is coming out in this article, and how that happened and who was to blame and what happened there. And it gives more clarity on really why Whittingham's not at Utah, why he's at Michigan, and why Utah did it. Okay, so this article, I'm not going to read everything in this article, but I'm going to summarize a couple things here. Docs reveal final days of Kyle Whittingham's Utah tenure, paint picture of resentment, disappointed by your actions, quote unquote. And that is a quote from Mark Harlan that we're going to get to here in a second. I am going to summarize what's going on here. So Kyle Whittingham had been talking for several years with Utah about an exit strategy, about leaving the Utah program and handing the program off to defense coordinator Morgan Scalley. This has been years in the making, and Whittingham had always communicated to the University of Utah that he wanted to retire at the age of 65. That's the age that his father actually passed away from. He was a coach too at BYU, Fred Whittingham. So Kyle Whittingham had made it known publicly many times that 65 was his max. He was going to retire. And so Utah was actually sunsetting with that game plan and play that Whittingham was going to be done around 65 years old. He had been the Utah coach for 20 years. He'd been with the program for 30 plus years, the greatest coach of all time at Utah. And as a Ute fan, I love Whittingham still. Just going to say that. But it got messy here at the end of this. Okay. So with the idea of sunsetting Whittingham out, this is what the article goes over. So after the last season, 2025 Utah football season, Utah had a good season with a 10-win season in the regular season going into the bowl game. And Whittingham had a deadline in early December to give to the Utes to see if he was going to return or not. Well, Whittingham's representation went a few days past that deadline and ended up asking the University of Utah to consider a contract extension beyond what the Utes thought, which was him retiring, actually, and in sunsetting out of the program or retiring from football in general. But Whittingham actually came back and asked for a one-year contract extension that was a $2 million increase in his base pay with a lot more NIL resources committed, and really like a big offer for somebody that's that old that you're planning on leaving. Utah ran into a pickle, guys. This is not in the article. This is 100% true. Morgan Scalley, the coach for Utah, was getting courted by other P4 level head coaching positions. This is real. He'd been getting courted for offensive coordinator jobs for years. Even USC went after him for multiple years in a row. And Utah had to make a strategic call if they were going to bring Whittingham on for another year or give the reins to Morgan Scalley. Morgan Scalley had the booster support. The big money at Utah was behind Morgan Scalley, and they wanted the transition to happen because of this sunsetting plan. Well, Whittingham comes back and asks for more money, more NIL resources to come back for 1 year. For 1 year, guys. Utah had a stacked roster in 2025, and in 2026, the roster was going to have a little bit of a depletion because of the offensive line largely. That was a stud offensive line in 2025. Well, Whittingham offers Utah. Utah comes back and says, hey, we can't meet those terms. So they counteroffer Whittingham an $8 million base salary for 2026 football season, which was lower than the 9 to 9.5 that he wanted. And also with more controls on the program and basically a certain guarantee that you're going to hand it over to Morgan Scalley after 2026 if he was going to return. Whittingham didn't like those terms. He decided not to go with that. He's committed he was going to sunset out of the program, signed an agreement to basically leave the football program in good shape when he was phasing out. And then everyone went on their way for a few days. In between all that going on, the Sherrone Moore stuff happened at Michigan. Michigan's job opens up, and Whittingham gets called a couple days after he decides to hang it up at Utah because he didn't like the counteroffer from the Utes for that year deal. Michigan hires Whittingham, brings him on board, and Whittingham proceeds to pluck 7 coaches from the Utah program, pluck 4 players, including one of the best recruits that Utah's ever landed. So basically decimates the top quality of the program when he leaves on to Michigan. And that really, really irked a lot of Utah people that Whittingham did that because it was the thought that he was going to leave the program in a good position. And the terms of his deal actually were to leave the program in a good position. And he basically decimated the program with the coaches, especially leaving over to Michigan. And so as part of the agreement to leave and sunset out of the program, there was a period of payments that the Utes were going to give to Kyle Whittingham. So they're going to give him roughly $13 million over the course of 3 years to sunset away from the program and hand it off to Morgan Scalley. Well, Whittingham takes this Michigan job, jumps over to Ann Arbor, and takes these players, takes the coaches, and his representation still felt like they deserved that sunsetting money that Utah had committed to him. And based on the contract that he had with the Utes, it's questionable if that money should have got delivered to him or not. But the email that we will review right here is the email from a spicy, ticked off Mark Harlan, athletic director from the Utes about Kyle Whittingham. This was just in January, I believe, January 2026, about the first installment payment for the sunset that he was about to get when he was going to retire before he took on the Michigan job. Utah, it says it in this. Let's read this and you can just take what you want from it, okay? I'm going to read it to you guys. This is from Mark Harlan, athletic director for the Utah Utes. If I'm getting a little emotional, there's a lot going on here. I'm a little bit emotional about this whole thing. I love Whittingham. Harlan, I don't love where Harlan's taking things at the moment. And the fact that we're paying $8 million to Whittingham right now makes me crazy insane. Like, what the freak are we going and doing here? Anyway, the letter. Dear Kyle, enclosed, please find a check for $8,013,808.20, which includes interest from January 8th to today's date. This represents the first payment of a transition bonus, his sunset bonus, to be paid in 3 installments over the next 2 years under the 4th Amendment to your employment agreement. As you know, the university was disappointed by your actions last month. The university felt that your involvement with recruiting our football coaches and staff to Michigan was contrary to the terms of your employment agreement, which requires you to assist with a smooth and successful transition of the football program to the new head coach and his coaching staff. Your position was that this provision only prohibited non-disparagement. We have determined that a fight over this issue would be, okay, this is big, guys. Here, let me repeat this. We have determined that a fight over this issue would not be in the long-term interest of the university and its football program or your legacy as our long-time football coach. We have decided to look to the future, and we hope and expect that you will do the same. Future payments of this transition bonus will be paid pursuant to the ongoing terms of the Fourth Amendment. We wish you well. Sincerely, Mark Harland. So Utah paid the payment that they probably shouldn't have paid, $8 million to Whittingham, who poached the coaches, poached the players, went over to Michigan. That's the Ute perspective and point of view. I'm sure that the Michigan perspective might be different. The Whittingham perspective might be different. What do you guys think at this point?
Moen, I'll let you go first.
Well, let's start. Clearly, Kyle Whittingham needed to get out of the Big 12. He wasn't successful in the Big 12. I don't think he ever would have been successful in the Big 12. So I don't blame him for leaving for that reason. He went to Michigan. I don't think he's going to be successful in the Big 10, especially at that school. But listen, Mark Harlan, hey, we don't think we should pay this, but we're going to pay it. Well, if you don't think you should pay it, then don't pay it. Why are you?
He did not want this leaked.
Why are you paying this?
Because he wanted to keep the legacy of Whittingham intact. He wanted a statue and call it Kyle Whittingham Field and not have everybody hate Kyle Whittingham for this. That's why.
So you're going to pay him $13 million that you don't owe him.
I mean, like under the terms of the agreement, it's definitely dicey if it's owed or not. But Whittingham's, counsel was demanding this payment still. And it was definitely something that probably should have gone to court, honestly. I think the Utes probably would have won the suit, but they decided just to capitulate and pay the sucker.
Well,
let me ask you a question. How is it disparagement to take players and to take coaches? That doesn't seem like it's disparaging to me. How's that disparaging? It's bad, but it's not disparaging.
Where the kicker here is in this is the assist, because the terms of the contract that he had with the Utes really had the language of like a smooth and successful transition to the next football coach.
That's subjective.
Right? I mean, is it? Would anybody say that Whittingham going to Michigan was a smooth and successful transition? That's the point where you're like, really? Like
the contract
coaches, man.
The contract could have been written better, is all I'm saying. You could drive a Mack truck through the holes in this contract. That's all I'm saying.
So yeah, I mean, maybe it's like you I don't know, maybe the legal troubles too, but I think it's probably smart just to try to bury it, like pay him and then move on your way, build a statue later. But like, man, to think that Whittingham took what he took and he's getting paid $13 million from the Utes pisses me off. Be honest,
it should, it would piss me off too. Yeah, for sure. My only comment, just because everybody else is piling on Utah, everybody knows my opinion about the situation, so I'm not going to repeat it 12 times. I would just say this. Utah had negotiated this before the Michigan thing really crystallized.
Sure.
And Utah got burned in a very, very bad situation that in most years would never happen. Sherrone Moore to get fired when he did, a guy who had gotten away with a bunch of crap but was going to continue to go away with it. He was still going to be the coach at Michigan the next year. It was just a bad confluence of events for Utah. But if I was to be mad at anybody, I wouldn't even be mad at Mark Harlan. In this case, I would be upset with the lawyers that left in words that you could read subjectively up and down. Go Black 45 had a comment, I don't know if I marked it, that basically said, put it in the contract if you don't want him to be able to do something. You don't want him to take coaches. You don't want him to take players. Put that in the contract. So anyway.
Yeah. And it goes back to you're right though. At the end of the day, you're right, Nate, about that. You got to tighten that up. because you never know what risk could pop up and stuff. I mean, you
Right.
think the guy's sunsetting. He's 66 now.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like you thought, like you wouldn't have ever imagined in a million years you'd go to Michigan right after. Like that would happen.
Bad confluence of events. There's no doubt about it.
100%. And so, like, I'm just curious, like, we've laid out the situation. It's interesting to think of the ramifications for, like, the conferences, too, and the Michigan Wolverines. Moan, you just spoke to this, but I got to get your take on this, too. Like, Whittingham, like, forget the situation we're here with the Utes and this payment and everything. Let's just talk about Kyle Whittingham led Michigan for a second. Do you think that Michigan is in a better spot with Whittingham over the next 2 or 3 years than they would have been with Sherrone Moore?
They are
On the field.
That's-
On the field.
on the field. Now we'll have to see once the recruiting comes in. Sherrone Moore had a very good recruiting situation going on there. I don't know that Whittingham's going to be able to recruit in the Midwest quite as well, but I will. Let me ask you this question, and we got a couple super chats we got to get to.
Yeah,
but,
we'll get to those. Yep, go ahead.
But do you feel angry that Whittingham accepted the Michigan job?
No, not at all. I'm not angry about that. It's the situation totally sucks, and I'm angry that he's trying to demand his like sunsetting payments after the language and stuff. Because it's like, dude, that's just enough. Like, did he really need to do that? Like,
Yeah.
Whittingham, he was not happy about this Utah situation. He got pushed out. He's mad.
It's pretty clear he was hurt by the way
Right.
things went down, and especially for everything he did for that. I mean, they wouldn't give him an extra $1.5 million on a 1-year contract, but now they're paying him $13 million to play.
Yeah.
somewhere else.
Really
I mean,
stupid.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you guys this. On the other hand, if Morgan Scalley doesn't stay, how detrimental would the future of your program, if he's as successful as I think he's going to be? That's a 10 to 20 year decision. How big a loss would that have been if he bounces because he's pissed off too that you've been promising that head coach?
Do you
job
lose
for 4
players
years?
though if Kyle stays? Do you lose players
No,
if he
you don't lose.
bounces?
You lose a couple players, and like
Yeah, but not
frankly,
near like you guys lost, right? You guys
like
lost.
Utes lost
Sione
4
Moa.
players to Michigan, right? And
yeah.
I think that the names, it's the quality of players that went to
Yeah.
Michigan and got the PR. The
Yeah.
transfer portal wasn't nearly as bad as it could have been, honestly. Scalley was the lead recruiter on these players.
Mhm.
Like Whittingham was the
Right,
figurehead.
but I mean,
Scalley
it's-
was the recruiter, right?
It's a situation, and I get where you're coming from, but it's a situation where it's not 100% clear that Morgan Scalley is going to be successful as a head football coach.
No guarantee.
No
guarantee.
guarantees. Now,
No.
Kyle Whittingham, he had been successful as a college football coach prior to the last 2 seasons, really.
I ask myself this question: like, he had a squad last year, right? That offensive line was best in the nation last year. You lost every single starter on that offensive line going into this
Yeah.
season. This squad is the schedule's weaker. Utah's got a chance of getting the Big 12 championship, but the squad is not as strong as last year. Do you think Whittingham's really going to get to the playoff with this squad if you're giving him one more year? Like, what's the best? If you end up in the Alamo Bowl or something again, what a waste, man. Like, so you had to make the move. It wasn't like you were stacked and making a run for like the national championship this year. Like, you had to make that move sooner or
Well,
later. It's going to happen this year or next year.
If we've learned anything, you can rebuild in the portal and have a team ready to go. Indiana did a perfect job of it. It's about rebuilding any more than it is recruiting. So recruiting plays a part in it. I'm not saying recruiting doesn't, but to say, well, he couldn't go in the portal and get decent offensive linemen, that lays at the feet of Utah if you can't do that.
Well,
At
here's
least
the
at the
other
feet of
caveat. I
Utah.
mentioned it too. This is real. Morgan Scalley he is related to one of the biggest boosters to Utah.
Mhm. Yep.
And like that booster was shut down. No more money with Whittingham. One of the biggest boosters for the program. The money person said no more. So if you want to go get those players like you referenced, if one of your boosters is like, hey, we're transitioning right now, the money supply is gone. How are you going to get them?
That would have been.
I don't know,
brutal for
but I would
Utah.
be
100%.
going to.
If you
Yeah.
lost
I would be
Morgan
going to
Scalley,
that-
you would have screwed your program. 100%.
Mhm.
You couldn't
I'd
have done
be
it.
going to that booster right now and saying I need $13 million to pay Kyle ham off.
They might be.
That money's going to come out of my tax dollars, Mo, and you watch. Ricky Tungate and all of that. We had 3 super chats. I'm going to go to Ricky's first because it was last, frankly. $50 super chat
Let's
from
go.
Ricky Tungate, the Indiana Hoosier in the house, saying greed will ruin the Golden Goose. Sorry for Ohio State's lose. I pull for all Big Ten teams, men or women's.
Yeah, it's tough when you put yourself in a 15-point hole in the first half, Ricky. But Ohio State, they came back. They did come back. They had an opportunity. They couldn't pull it off. But the women Buckeyes are still out there. The women Buckeyes hockey team is going to play for a national championship, either against Wisconsin or Penn State. So we still got plenty of Buckeye championship potential out there. It's just not in the men's tournament. So, and I always pull for every Big Ten team except one.
Ricky, you will remain the national champion for the 2025-26 football season. So don't listen to anything Moen says that's derogatory. Let's see here.
We gotta give him some
thank you so much.
Drops a 50 bomb. Let's freaking go, Ricky.
Oh, go ahead. You can do a sounder if you want to, Moen. Go ahead.
We're gonna play the Indiana song.
Okay, go. I can do Robert off of here.
We're gonna have some beers.
There you go.
Have Nate going deeper.
Okay.
Deeper than that, you.
After the beers, we're gonna have shots. Let's have some shots.
I love it. Okay.
And we're gonna clap that one out for $50. Thank you so much.
Good job, Ricky.
Help us keep the lights on around here. We appreciate it, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ricky. We appreciate you.
Mark Bowman in
the house.
Sorry, one more thing to give to Ricky.
Sure.
Go ahead. Baby, we got a national champion, baby. Love it, enjoy it. Yes, you sexy thing right there. You love it, you national champion.
All right, Mark Bowman gave us a $10 super chat. He's also a valuable member, OG member of the College Football Mafia family. Multitasking tonight, watching Iowa versus Clemson NCAA tournament game in men's basketball while listening to you guys. Much like the football team, the men's basketball team is very deliberate, holding the ball for 30 seconds. That's how you reduce risk, is hold the ball for 30 seconds.
That was a rough one, Mark.
How you doing?
I looked at the parlays and I finally just stepped away from that game. I just said,
walked away.
I just walked away. I think it was only like a 1.5, but it was such an evenly matched game that I had to walk away. But thank you for the $10, Mark. Appreciate it. Appreciate you listening in and while you're watching the basketball game too.
You want to give him a sounder?
I will give him a sounder. I will give him an Iowa sounder.
Let's go.
Hopefully the Hawkeyes are ahead. Let's give the Iowa fight song.
Dun, 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 I love it. I wanted to get this. Alex Armstead is a new subscriber. Shout out to you, Alex, sorry. Thanks for being here tonight. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and consider becoming a new member of the College Football Mafia family. Moen gave 5 new memberships. Moen, what's up?
Yeah, I gifted 5 memberships. We got a lot of new people in chat. I want to welcome everybody who's new in chat. Make sure you like and subscribe. Those things are free. They help us tremendously in the algorithm. And those gifted memberships went to somebody, and I'm going to find them here in a second. It went to Anthony Manzano. Friends call me Sean. Wet Blanket.
Excellent.
Anthony Manzano 3240. So Anthony Manzano's got 2 memberships now. And then we got Jimmy Otson. This is what happens. It happened to me too. JGB received a gifted membership, and you can figure out what the GB is because I'm not saying the GB part.
Oh, come on, Moen.
You can say it.
Moen.
You can say it.
I say go blue all the time. I have no problem.
There you go.
With it.
There you go.
All right, we'll get to a couple more comments, and then I'm going to get out of here. First one is from Go Black 45. Go Black 45, the best name in social media. I love that name so much. Good to have you here, Go Black 45. Also a valuable member of the College Football Mafia family. If Kyle goes 8-4 for the next 2 years, he's not finishing that contract. Yeah, I think if he goes 8-4 this year, he might not finish it. They might get rid of him after 1 year.
It's real talk right now for Kyle Whittingham. I want to pull up the Michigan schedule, guys.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's pretty daunting.
Yeah.
Man, let's just look at this together. Here we go. Okay, so let's just see where Michigan's going to get.
Yeah, let's go through these.
All right, so Western Michigan, they're 1-0, right?
Right.
1-0 Western Michigan. Oklahoma Sooners coming to Michigan Stadium, so that's a 50-50 game, right? Maybe Michigan's favored? What do you think, Oklahoma at Michigan?
It's at Michigan?
It's at Michigan.
It's hard to win in Ann Arbor. I'd probably take Michigan at home.
Moan?
I'm taking Oklahoma.
There you go.
I've got Michigan too, so we're mostly still 2-0. UTEP, we're 3-0. But then you're Iowa at Michigan Stadium. At least it's a home game, but Iowa's pre-ranked 16. Maybe,
really?
Yeah, that must be last season. Iowa. So Iowa and Michigan. Michigan could get that one. They could go 4-0. What do you think, Moan?
You know, it's tough for me to pick Michigan. Man, is that? No, that's at home. Boy, I'm taking the Iowa Hawkeyes in that game.
On the road.
On the road.
Oh my goodness. Okay. If it was Oklahoma and Iowa, the team might fold.
Iowa's defense is legit. Like, this game could be like 9-6. Like, that could be the final score of this
anything
game.
with Iowa in it is 9-6.
Yeah. So this could be 6-6 late, and Iowa gets a fortuitous punt and gets down to the 40-yard line and kicks a long field goal. So
okay,
I like Iowa, but that's a 50-50 game to me.
I'm thinking Iowa or the Sooners clip them. So I think they have one loss going into Minnesota, which they win.
Okay.
And
They
so
should win at
then
Minnesota.
Yeah, so that's 4 wins right there, right? So 4-1, we're saying. Now it gets real spicy. They've got so many home games, though, guys. This is insanity. Michigan at home. So Penn State coming off a bye week, you're gonna win that game.
Penn State's a rebuilding program, and
right.
They have 20 new players from one school, and I don't know. I would probably take Penn State in that game. It's hard to know now what their records are, but Penn State I think is going to be good this year.
I disagree. I think Penn State's going to be awful this year. And
I don't think so.
I think they got the right coach in Matt Campbell, but it's just going to take they've got to have patience. I think they have to have patience with Matt Campbell, give him time, let him build his team. But I think
Kurt Cignetti came in and immediately won with transfers from a school that was way below Iowa State.
He did, but Penn State lost a lot of talent. They had a really talented team. They've got a lot of holes to fill. I'm not saying Penn State's an awful team by any means. Just be patient with Matt Campbell. I think you need to be patient. This year, I'm looking for him to be like a 6 or 7 win team.
Okay.
I think Indiana beats them at Michigan
Handily.
Wow.
So that's 2 losses. Indiana. Look at this. Another home
Maybe
game,
3.
They've got like 8 home games. How is that even possible?
Yeah. Welcome to the SEC.
So then you've got at Rutgers, that's a win. Michigan State, that's a win.
Yes.
Then at Oregon, that's a loss right there.
A loss.
So there's 3 losses right here that we're talking. UCLA, you're going to beat, and then
it
might come down to the game, man, to see if Whittingham's job's going to be
8-4, 7-5. I can see it.
8-4 is not going to get you to the playoff. They need to go 9-3.
No. Yeah.
I mean,
there's only 12 teams. 9-3 might not get them in there.
It's not easy for Michigan. I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's not.
8-4.
Maybe. All right. I'm going to take off, you guys. I wanted to say thank you for everybody for being new subscribers. If you're new here because you're a new sub, take your time, browse around our video library. We got some really good stuff in there, videos that are just made for members. And I guarantee you'll be the smartest guy at the water cooler if you start educating yourself on the videos we've done on realignment and the business of college sports, specifically college football. So I want to encourage everybody to do that. I'm going to say thank you to you. Thank you to Moen. Thanks, guys. I hope you have a good weekend, and I'll be back Tuesday night with a call-in show, and I'm working on a guest. So we'll see what we can do on Tuesday night. Other than that, I want to wish you guys good time this weekend and say go Cougs. We'll talk to you later.
See you later.
Okay, see ya. Bye, Moen.
See ya.
Peace.
Peace. Hey, Moen, it's time for a Tarleton.
Oh yeah, have that Tarleton. They're banned in Ohio. I can't have them anymore. I had to purchase a handgun this week, and you're not allowed to have Tarletons and own a handgun. So it's too much testosterone, you know. So
sooner or later, I'm gonna stick this piece of chalk in my mouth, thinking it's a Tarleton. Look how similar these things look, man.
Oh, you never liked them Tarletons. So I think I'll have a drink. Anybody
cheers
out
to you.
there who is of age and not driving or intending to drive anywhere, feel free to join me. I'm gonna have a little shot of Crown Royal here. Utes
it.
drinking a
Friday night.
non-alcoholic Heineken.
Oh, give me a break, Moen. Give me a break, my man. Look, so Michigan, just to finish these thoughts, Michigan made the right hire in Kyle Whittingham to clean the program up. Regardless of what the record looks like this year, my initial gut feeling was like, hey, Whittingham's going to dominate the Big Ten. Remember when I said that to you, Moen, and you're like, oh my gosh, shut up.
Yeah.
Looking at the schedule, yeah, go ahead.
I still think he's not going to dominate the Big Ten.
Yeah,
Listen,
looking at that schedule, man.
I get it. He's a transitional coach. He's the right guy to bring in to clean up the program. They've had, you know, if Michigan fans can argue with me, Jim Harbaugh. There's still a lot of Harbaugh baggage there. You had the Sherrone Moore baggage there. You had a lot of years of bad PR. Shenanigans, I think, would probably be the best way to put it. Shenanigans going on. I think Kyle Whittingham helps resolve some of those issues, but I don't expect him to ever go above 8-4 as a coach at Michigan.
That would be a fail from Whittingham's perspective.
Oh,
He
I'm
took
sure it
that
would.
job to win a natty, right? 100%.
Yeah, and I wouldn't begrudge him for going to Michigan over Utah. I mean, it's to me if they'd come back and Utah had said, "Okay, we changed our mind, we'll pay you this for the 1 year," and he still had the Michigan job in front of him, you take the Michigan job. It's
At that point.
it's at any point, it's a top 3 job.
He turned down Michigan before.
It's still a top
Turned
3
out-
job.
I mean, he was loyal to the Utes, man. Like,
Well-
a lot of programs came after him in the past, and based on like how it all went down and how upset he was, rightfully so. I would be upset if I were him too. And how it shook out. I understand it from all perspectives. Like, there was no going back to the Utah Utes, so he was going to jump over to Michigan. You know what? Despite that, Moen, I hope that he has success. I really appreciate Kyle Whittingham. He's like my favorite coach I've really had for any of my sporting teams. Andy Reid and Kyle Whittingham, man, great guys and stuff to have as your coaches.
Yeah, but Urban Meyer was probably the best coach at Utah because he went on to win 3 national championships once he left.
He had the most greatness, but he was just a transitional coach.
I would transitional coach. Okay. Well, I think we've covered that. Do you want to talk a little bit about conference realignment this week? There's a rumor going around. Amazon potentially bankrolling their own Super League of 40 to 50 teams. Are you buying or are you selling?
On Amazon buying this for 40 or 50 teams?
50-team Super League with Amazon bankrolling it.
I'm buying a Super League at 40 teams. I'm selling Amazon as the benefactor, funder, and main source of that deal. There's no way that 50 teams are included in a Super League, though. In fact, 40 is probably too many as well. You're probably looking at the NFL 32 model, maybe 30. So 40 is my max. And like in Amazon, I think they're in on that, but I don't think that ESPN and Fox are just going to let that go easy.
Sure. And I tend to agree with you too. I was talking to Caleb Ramirez about this earlier this week. You know, I guess Greg did a show on it. I had heard the rumor earlier this week too from a friend of a friend, but it seems to me like they're going to use Amazon to get a better media deal from their media partners.
Right.
They're just going to use that deal, both Big Ten and the SEC, to get better media deals from ESPN, Fox, CBS, NBC, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think it's time for Prime. It's not Prime's time. I think we'll just have to drop a dime on it. So I don't buy the Amazon rumor. It's not that I don't trust Greg. I'm sure Greg was told that, and I don't buy it. I can't, that dog won't hunt, as we say here in Appalachia. That dog won't hunt. Not in my book.
In 40 or 50 teams, would you just grab the Big Ten and the SEC, and that's like your baseline, then you're adding off that?
And then you add a handful of Big 12 teams.
The ACC and Big 12 teams, yeah.
Right. But that doesn't, how are you going to justify, and you did the viewership numbers, how are you going to justify Purdue in your Amazon Super League?
It's tough. It's really tough to do that. Like, yeah, you can't really have call it a Super League unless you really take the biggest brands and create something new, right?
Right. You're going to leave people behind in the SEC, the Big Ten, the Big 12, and the ACC.
Yeah. Here's the more I've done research on this, looked at brand index, look at value drivers, look at markets, I'm becoming increasingly scared of one scenario developing, and it's not a Super League funded by Amazon. It's not the SEC going and doing its own silo. I've told you before, like, that is not a profitable venture because they lose the NCAA tournament and access to that if they go off on their own. There's no way they're going to do that. It's too expensive. They'll lose 25 to 30 to 35% of their value, the SEC, if they break away. That's not happening. The Big Ten, it's not a profitable venture either. But the Big Two, if the SEC does agree with Big Ten and wants to create that type of Super League, and they just need to bring one brand along with that to basically just kill everybody else, and that's Notre Dame. If they get Notre Dame, it's over. It's over,
and here's
man.
the thing. They keep bringing up, and Cody Campbell and other people, legislation in Congress, that they want to repeal the Sports Broadcasting Act of 1961, which would allow them to pull media rights. Now, according to Cody Campbell, it's voluntary, but Cody Campbell's system makes it seem very much mandatory. But if it's voluntary and the Big Ten and the SEC scoop up what's valuable of the ACC and get Notre Dame on board, that's scary for college football. That's scary for media partners in general. A combined SEC Big Ten with media negotiations, they would dwarf literally everybody else combined. They would.
It would, and plus you're getting, that's the only scenario if you add Notre Dame, and even adding FSU and Miami and like North Carolina, that's bonus, but it's not necessary. Notre Dame is necessary. That's like the last holdout in itself. There's such a brand value as far as like the index scores and everything, that's the lone brand out there on the Ohio State level, that needs to be included. And without Notre Dame, you can't really break away. You have to have them, but once they're in-house, then if you did break away, you're looking at netting more money in the ranges of around 30% more than you're making now. This is the best way to maximize the dollar, but it would absolutely devastate everybody else. The Big 12, the ACC, everybody would be absolutely devastated if it happened. There wouldn't be any like competition on the football field over the long term if it did. The financial gap would be way out of reach. And in addition to that, if that were to happen, the media partners would double down, triple down, quadruple down on that conference like they've done the NFL. And I think that the media contracts for your ACC, Big 12 leftovers would just erode, and you'd get worse media contracts than you actually would get today. It would be a double ding. And so that is a very, very toxic situation that anybody that wouldn't be included in that power two must fight for survival if they care about any competition on the football field.
Fair enough. Let's get to some comments.
Let's do it.
Utah didn't, I think this is supposed to say did not. Utah didn't want to come to the 12 and caved. Now they caved to a former great coach, not a serious Big Ten candidate from what I see.
Well, the Big Ten would be buying the future, not today or not yesterday, right? It's not what you did yesterday. It's about what you can do for me in the future and what value you can bring to the table. And Kyle Whittingham was not going to be a part of that.
Okay. Bulldog Mississippi says maybe the Whittingham exit was worse than the Kiffin exit. At least Kiffin left the team and most of the coaching staff intact. I'm still going to have to say it's Kiffin because Ole Miss was in the playoffs. They were in the playoffs and you left. Utah wasn't in the playoffs when Whittingham left or was pushed out.
What do you think? Like, tell me this, Moan. Like, who is to blame for this Whittingham? Is there any blame to go around, or is it just unlucky? Like, it's lucky for Michigan. Is it unlucky for Utah? Like, what? Give me the post-mortem. What the freak happened here, man?
I think it's a terrible idea to name a successor 5 years out. And I've made this analogy before, and I'll make it again. Jay Leno, Conan O'Brien. Jay Leno, he did not want to leave the Tonight Show. They pushed him out the door for Conan O'Brien, and then Jay Leno's show failed, and he pushed Conan O'Brien back out the door. And it ended up costing NBC, I think, close to $100 million, that whole debacle. And I think Utah has done the same thing. They've gone and said, okay, you want to retire by 65, we'll accept that. And we're putting Morgan Scalley as our head coach and waiting. And, it got to the point where they were just like, hey, you've got to go because we've got to install this guy. And, what do you want Whittingham to do? Do you want him to just wait around in the lobby and go, okay, wait around out here in the lobby just in case Morgan Scalley screws up? And
he was supposed to retire, go skiing with all his money, man. He had a war chest of 13 mil, Moan. Why does he have to go to Michigan and coach?
Yeah, I understand that, but to get Michigan is an incredible opportunity. Right. I completely understand it. For Lane Kiffin to go to LSU, again, a huge opportunity, but you don't leave your team in the middle of a playoff run.
Yeah, that's just absolutely dirty.
That's really dirty. Yeah. I don't think Kyle Whittingham will do much for Michigan. He'll do what he's needed to do. He's a transitional coach. He'll get a couple 6, 7, 8 win seasons. They can test out Jay Hill and maybe some of that coaching staff that he's brought along and see if any of them are successors. And if not, 2-3 years now, they can go big.
Man, Jay Hill might be the future Michigan coach. If he can recruit in the Midwest. I'm not sure he can. We'll find out.
Ryan Willie says, Mo and Wisconsin will win tonight and Sunday to continue the dynasty. Lady Buckeyes, future champions, buddy. Count on it. I'm betting heavy on it, Ryan. I'm betting heavy on the Lady Buckeyes. Whittingham is a stopgap coach. He will be 0-2 or 0-3 versus OSU and retire again. Yeah, the game's in Columbus this year. We'll see. I love Ryan Day, but he's still. I want him to see him win the game at Ohio Stadium. Go Black 45 says if Kyle goes 8-4 for the next 2 years, he's not finishing that contract.
I'm wondering if he goes 8-4 this year, if he's going to get pushed out. What do you
No,
think?
I think they'll give him 2 years. I think they would give him 2 years. Unless they were going to lose, unless Jay Hill turns out to be the real deal defensive coordinator and like they're the top defense in the country and he might have an offer to go somewhere, then they might push Kyle Whittingham out for the second year in a row for a younger coach with more promise. And then he'll probably luck into some kind of NFL job. The men's hockey final tomorrow is Ohio State versus Michigan. I believe that's in the tournament, not the Final Four tournament, but the conference tournament. Ouch. Talk about getting burnt. It's a good thing Utah sold their soul to private equity. Gave Utah plenty of cash, future debt to pay Whittingham to dismantle the program and rebuild Michigan.
Ooh. Sure hope it's not like that. There's a lot of optimism in Utah land about Morgan Scalley. And the schedule that Utah has this year is paper thin, man. I got to share this with you, okay? Can I share with,
Sure.
like we looked at that Michigan schedule. Man. Hold up. This is where the optimism lies. It's not necessarily because this is the greatest squad Utah's ever bringing to the table, but with the schedule brings great opportunity, especially for like a first-year coach, right? All right, Moan, tell me. Okay, so Devin Dampier is back. You got Bert Thicklin back. You got a lot of the pieces back. You're rebuilding the offensive line. The team's supposed to be good, but I wouldn't call them great. And I would call them – last year's team was slightly better than this year's team, but it's not a huge margin, okay? Let's look at the schedule. Idaho Vandals. Who wins?
Okay, they probably win. They probably beat
Okay.
Idaho.
Moan, really?
Probably.
Stop it, Moan. Okay, so Arkansas is coming out to the mountains, Rice-Eccles Stadium. Utah, Arkansas. Who wins that game?
Both got new coaches. That's a 50-50 game for me. I have to see how Utah ends up looking, and I have to see how Arkansas ends up looking the first week of the season. But I'll give Utah the benefit of the doubt, and I'll say it's at home. They win with a field goal.
Okay, that's fair. So 2-0. Utah State at Rice-Eccles.
They'll probably win that game.
3-0. Okay, going to Iowa State, Jack Trice Stadium.
This is another tough one because I don't know what Iowa State's going to look like without Matt Campbell.
Right.
But
They're supposed to be one of the worst, if not the worst team in the Big 12.
They lost a lot. I'll give that one to Utah.
Okay, so you're 4-0 going into the bye week. Kansas Jayhawks at home.
Oh, man, it depends on which Kansas Jayhawks team shows up this season. I'll go ahead and give that. It's at home. I'll give that to Utah.
So you're at 5-0. You're going at Colorado.
I would give that one to Utah.
So
I just don't
let's
trust Colorado.
So based on what we're talking about, like you're the one saying this. I'm not even predicting anything. You're at 6-0 already. Right?
You've got a Sherman soft schedule, yes.
And then your Houston's supposed to be better. They're coming to Rice-Eccles. But
I think I would still take Utah in that matchup just because it's at home.
they're going to be favored. You're going at Cincinnati.
That's at Cincinnati. That's a Halloween game. If that game's at night, I'm taking Cincinnati.
Okay. Well, there's one loss on the schedule. BYU's coming to Rice-Eccles.
Taking BYU.
Okay. There's 2 losses. You're going at Arizona.
That's a win.
Okay. 2 losses still. At TCU.
TCU going to show up. I'm going to give that to TCU.
Okay. And then West Virginia at home. Last game of the season in the cold.
I might give that to West Virginia. It's
I
Rich
don't
Rod's
think so.
second season. He's getting some players in there that run his system.
Not
I
in
think
the
West
altitude,
Virginia-
not in the cold.
I
see
think
it.
West Virginia is going to surprise some people this year. It's a 50-50 game. I'm going to say 51. I'm giving it to West Virginia, 49 Utah.
Okay, so you've got Utah at 8-4 with the schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got
But
them
they
at
have
10.
a very favorable schedule. I mean, there's a lot of
Yeah.
50-50 games here. They could be potentially a playoff team, but I wouldn't bet on them in the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
And I wouldn't either, actually, right?
how are they going to do against Arkansas? I think week 2 is going to determine a lot for both those teams, for Arkansas and Utah. So
The opportunity's there, though, for a new coach, right?
it's there. It's there. And it's not like it's not cold in West Virginia. Trust me, when it gets to be October, November, December, it can be very cold in West Virginia. Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama, and Texas Tech are the only 4 schools that made the college football playoff, men's basketball tournament, and women's basketball tournament. There you go. Skaven, yes, says hello, gentlemen. Go Big Red. Kyle Whittingham is probably good enough to get Michigan to 8 wins this year. That's about it. I don't disagree.
Who's got a better shot at making the playoff, Utah or Michigan?
Michigan. It's the name. If both those teams go 9-3, who's getting in?
Right. I think the Utes have to go maybe 11-1 or 10-2.
Well, let's
maybe.
take a look at the Big 12, how they fared in playoffs. How did a 2-loss BYU do? Got left out.
They didn't play in playoff. Yeah, they got left out.
That's what I'm saying. They got left out. So you're going to have to be either 1 loss or undefeated in the Big 12 to get a playoff spot. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's the way it is. First season coaches in Big are rarely successful. That's true. Usually the second season is where they take off. Jim Tressel won a national championship his second season. Kurt Signetti won a national championship his second season. Does Kyle Whittingham win a national championship his second season? Let's hope not.
He'll be 67 if he gets it done.
Minor NFL league cannot go toe-to-toe with the same number of teams. It has to be 50 to 60 teams, 25 SEC, 25 Big, or 3 20-team conferences. Big Lubbock, I agree with you. I like the idea of a Power 3. I think it makes more sense. Obviously, the SEC and Big Ten are still going to have more power in that dynamic, but I think that's what works out best for everybody. A couple games each year on Prime sounds believable. This whole idea of a super conference partnering with Amazon seems like fantasy. I tend to agree with you, Bulldog Mississippi. I think it's put out there specifically to try and drum up more money from CBS and NBC and Fox and ESPN. But we talked about it on a Moen Confidential it's about a month ago about adding Amazon as a streaming partner and what the algorithm predicted they would do in terms of realignment, and adding that streaming partner, adding a 4th partner that's a streaming partner, the odds on were to the Big Ten to expand to 24. The Big Lubbock, the only thing mandatory about Cody Campbell's plan is that Texas Tech gets included in the Super League. Exactly. It's installing a government committee to determine college football, which is what we really don't like in Big Ten country. We want to maintain our autonomy.
At least Texas Tech is swinging hard for it. They're doing everything they can do to get into that sucker. So you've got to give them respect for that.
Absolutely. Jose says, good evening, gang.
Hey.
West Virginia plays in the cold mountains also. Absolutely right. It can be
1,000
cold in Oregon,
altitude versus almost 5,000.
Well,
That's what I'm saying. West Virginia ain't beating Utah. I'm telling you guys, like right now, that ain't happening.
Yeah,
Not
but
that
Ute
game.
also is going to eat ass fruit because he thinks 2 Big 12 teams are getting into the college football playoff, and I'm saying no way.
I don't know,
Texas
man.
Tech is undefeated all time in football versus Utah. Them are facts.
Man. 1-0.
So
2-0, maybe.
those are facts. All right, we're going to wind it down here, guys. We're going to do a little shorter show this Friday. That way everybody can get back to the tourney. I can stop looking at my phone to see which one of my parlays is working. Good luck to the Kansas. I'm going to shout out Kansas Jayhawks. Kansas, I need you to win and cover in order to make that parlay work for me. I'd appreciate it if you would do that. I appreciate everybody who joined us tonight. In particular, I want to thank Caden the Diesel Freak, the Evil Badger Ryan Willie, Bulldog Mississippi, Caden the Diesel Freak again, myself, Moan After Dark, Mark Bowman, the Iowa Hawkeye, and Ricky Tungate, the Indiana Hoosier. The Hoosier. Absolutely, for helping us all with the super chats and the membership gifting and all that stuff. That is terrific. Upcoming schedule this Sunday will be a show with me and Rock for Mowing After Dark. Tuesday, you will have Bombers Blitz with Bomber doing a call-in with a special guest, hopefully. And then you say, what, Wednesday you're dropping your next video? It's around Wednesday.
Wednesday, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, the SEC video, which really is shocking.
Okay.
None of the videos so far to me have been super surprising, but the SEC is wild. You have to see it. Check it out.
And then Thursday will be another episode of a members only, Mowing Confidential. The plot of that episode, or what we're going to discuss, is all going to be determined by my brunch on Sunday with the Wizard. So once I talk to the Big Ten Wizard, we'll figure out what.
You're talking with the Wizard?
I'm talking with the Wizard.
You've got the Big Ten Wizard?
I'm attending a brunch that the Wizard is at, so I'm going to.
Can I ask you some questions to ask the Wizard?
If it's about Utah, no.
You know, it's only going to be like 15 questions, not too many, Mon.
Yeah, right. You're going to ask a question. Well, you can ask. I don't know that he's going to answer. I don't know he's going to answer any questions, you know?
Tell the people what the Big Ten Wizard is. He's the source of all sources here. He is the Big Ten whisperer, the wizard.
He's my source at a Big Ten school. I would not say he's the source of all sources, but he's generally right when he tells me something. He is, of course, the one who told me 7 months in advance that Oregon and Washington were negotiating with the Big Ten, and they were trying to mitigate issues between Oregon and the Big Ten. So,
would he ever come on the show?
No.
What if we put like a wizard, like emoji?
What if we put him behind and
muffled his voice?
He still wouldn't come on the show. Unfortunately, I don't think he would ever come on the show. But I believe the title game on Sunday is at noon, Ryan. But I could be wrong. It could be 3:30. Movie Time Blues wants me to ask the Wizard if the new OSU president has his own wish list. I've already got that one. That's one of the top 5 questions I got, is about the new president at Ohio State and what he thinks of him and if he thinks it's going to make any difference in realignment. So, but if you remember, check it out on Thursday. I'll report back what I talked to the Wizard about, and might be some interesting stuff in there. So if you remember, definitely check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. For myself, for Wild Ute, I want to thank everybody. Enjoy the tournament this weekend. Enjoy March Madness. May all your parlays hit. God bless, and we will see you on Sunday.